Qualifying 2 for the International GT Open in Hockenheim about to get underway. Second qualifying session of the weekend, and it is the turn of the drivers who finished yesterday's race to take to the track and try and get these cars as high up the grid as possible for this afternoon's race. It was a very dramatic affair yesterday in which Oregon took their first victory of the season, a first victory in GT Open for Alessio De Leda as well, and with the combination of himself and Jordan Pepper. Green flag is already being waved, and this 30-minute session is underway. Chris Stevens and Ewan Dunlop in the commentary box. Ewan, a very dramatic end to yesterday's race. We get to do it all again today.
Cannot wait, yeah. Dramatic is the correct word, right to the last few corners. I've never quite seen a team manager so happy than Jerry Canavesio was on the pit wall yesterday afternoon. He was joyous, to say the least.
Yeah, Jerry, one of the most eccentric characters in the GT Sport paddock. Of course, the Oregon cars were 1-2 across the line, but the 63 pairing of Leonardo Polcini and Rolf Eichen had to take a 5-second time penalty after the race for not serving the handicap correctly. That dropped them down into 5th position. But nonetheless, a remarkable turnaround for the Oregon team after a very, very disappointing start to the season in Portimao, in which, well, Alessio De Leda and Jordan Pepper scored no points. And it wasn't a great weekend either for their sister cars either. Of course, they had Marzio Moretti's brake failure as well that wiped out himself and his teammate in Portimao, and not showing the pace they expected. But they've come here in Hockenheim, and suddenly it is it's like it's 2023 again. The team that took more victories than anyone else last year, and Oregon are back up at the front of the field. And of course, one has to give a little bit of consolidation to poor Anthony Bartone and his Get Speed Mercedes that led the entire race right up until the last 5 minutes, when suddenly he was being mugged left, right and centre on the safety car restart.
Yeah, absolute thriller. And in fact, already after going out on track, one of the Oregons coming straight back in to the pit lane. We'll find out which one that is in a moment. It is... can't quite see on the angle, but on board with the car number 6, that is Valentin Pierberg.
Yep, car shares with the young Aaron Walker. Valentin Pierberg, very experienced driver in GT competition. He's making his way through the Nord curve and then down towards turn 2. Because the number 6 gets to be pairing, not quite getting off the mark as they would have hoped in the Pro-Am Championship. As that rather been dominated at the moment by the Spirit of Race pairing of Eddie Cheever and Marco Polcini. 2 wins in 3 races. And they have a 10-point lead now over the rest of the Pro-Am runners. Victory for them yesterday, but this is on board with the not on board, which is following the number 95 Thomas Eichen that was on the Pro-Am podium yesterday. Motorpark represented on all 3 podiums, with Diego Menchaca and Marcos Seibert finishing 2nd overall, and then this number 95 car Thomas Eichen and Morten Stromsted finishing 3rd in Pro-Am, and then Timo Rovkal and Heiko Neumann also finishing 3rd in the AM category as well. So a very good day for Motorpark.
Now, that Oregon being pushed, or not pushed back into the bits, coming back into the bits after an opening lap, didn't do a racing lap. And as we've been pushed back into the garage, that is number 10 of yesterday's race winners, De Leda and Pepper.
Alessio De Leda in the car at the moment. Jordan Pepper qualified the car yesterday. It was Fabian Schiller who took pole position yesterday in the number 9 Get Speed car. Of course, Anthony Bartone's turn to qualify the car now. Nico Menzel just going fastest in the car collection Porsche number 15, 138.146 at the moment. He's building his way down the Parabolica. Thomas Eichen also on a very quick lap here. He's currently 2nd fastest in that number 95 car that was on the podium. Whoa, getting it very, very close to the gravel and dipping into it ever so slightly. But Thomas Eichen, great to see somebody like Thomas Eichen getting an opportunity to be racing again. He made his car racing debut in 2021 in British F4 and only managed to do half a season before his sponsor unexpectedly passed away, sadly. And that rather curtailed his racing opportunities. Here we're going to see that moment again, just a flick through the gravel on the left-hand side there. He's really ragging the edge of that Mercedes AMG, but yeah, Tom's like a
big
youngster.
Slide for Southern. That is Bashar Mardini in the Pro-Am competition.
Yeah, and it's yeah, sideways in the grass on the exit of the final corner in the car collection Porsche, but looks like it's all clear down there now.
Once again on board with Pierre Bergs through the stadium section, round the Sud curve onto the start-finish straight. Currently lying in 10th place right now, 4th in Pro-Am. I was coming to the pits. He swung right. That'll do for the time being. Plenty of time, 24 minutes still. He's barely started this qualifying session, but he's laid down a pretty good one.
Number 9 car here, the one that was the dominant force throughout the race, right up until about 5 minutes to go on that safety car restart. Fabian Schiller leading from pole position, Anthony Bartone taking over the car, but that safety car restart, yeah, Bartone was rather mugged on that first restart lap, and then spun the car out of turn 10 as well, rather curtailing his race weekend. Thomas Eichen coming back across the line there, still pushing out on track is the young Brit, and goes across the line and still second fastest, improves, closes up on Nico Menzel, the provisional pole sitter. Marzio Moretti third at the moment in the Oregon Lamborghini, and then Conrad Grunwald in the of course at Ferrari, and then Christopher Haase in the East Allen Audi. 5 manufacturers in the top 5 at the moment, and this is another moment here for the Bashar Mardini Porsche, this time at turn 1, and dare say that will have done a little bit more hurt on the tyres as he skid across the road. And oh, now problems here for the ISR Audi, the number 75 car, which I think should be Philippe Salacada at the wheel of that one for this session, but Carol Bash now going 5th fastest in the Olymp Racing Audi. Here's the other Audi of Christopher Haase, who's up on Menzel's time as it stands going through the first sector. This car very much limited yesterday after getting some debris caught in the right rear wheel, and ended up damaging the brake discs. And so poor Simon Riker couldn't really get much out of that car yesterday, and nor could Christopher Haase when he eventually took over the car. Took quite a few more trips into the pits than they would have ideally liked, but hopefully all is well now aboard that East Talent number 1 car, reigning teams champions of course. And oh, well, Christopher Haase deciding that this is not the lap, and diving into pit lane.
In the AM competition, Cipriani right now, our solo driver, lying in 7th place, and Heiko Neumann in 10th in the 65, on board with 61.
Conrad Grunwald currently 5th fastest in the AF Corse run Ferrari. Conrad Grunwald's obviously huge background in the American sports car racing scene, and has been competing with Jean-Claude Sada for quite a few years now, since 2022. Starting out in GT World Challenge North America together before coming over to the GT Open last year. That's one of 2 entries that this year has moved from the AM category into Pro-Am. And they were 7th in the Pro-Am standings coming into this weekend on a decent lap. He's done a good first sector here. It's gone very well, but lost quite a bit of time there in the middle sector. Vincent Abril was looking quite quick there in the first sector. It was a personal best, but again losing time in the middle sector. He's just gone second quickest in the Spirit of Race Ferrari. Yellow flags out at turn 16 at the moment. Well, that's the corner we're coming up to. And can't see anything too obvious there. And oh, we've got a slow-moving car between the final two corners. Hopefully if we pan out here, well, that Ravenel sign, yeah, great marketing, but it's blocking the view of that car at the moment. But there's Abril, second fastest at the moment. That lap really wasn't the one. And here we can see it is the 88 Gino Forgione in the Spirit of Race Ferrari 296, just going for a spin at the penultimate corner. And I got no grip out on that drag strip there on the left-hand side. Nice sparks there from Heiko Neumann in the Motorpark, the AM Motorpark Mercedes. Hood coming off of the Oregon Lamborghini, and it is the green-tipped car, which is the number 19 of Marzio Moretti. Now, that car did have to have basically its entire rear end replaced on Friday evening after an engine fire in Friday testing. Had to bring an engine over from Spa, where the Lamborghini outfit currently is for the World Endurance Championship race. Jamie Stanley was going a little slow through the last sector there, bailed out on that lap he was on, and now going for another one as Leonardo Polcini now setting the pace in the first sector, fastest of anyone down the speed trap. He's got a personal best middle sector there as well. On board with the Lamborghini factory driver and the 2022 GT Open champion. Different teammate this year from when he was in his title-winning campaign, but through the final two corners here. Car that finished second on the road yesterday, but dropped down after a 5-second time penalty. Drives up towards the line, and Polcini stays in third. Didn't improve in the end, despite some good sectors there, but he's just 100th of a second away from Vincent Abril in second place. Now Dominic Baumann into fourth position as well in the SBS Automotive Performance Mercedes. This is our Pro-Am leader, Eddie Cheever, who has... Where is he? Oh, 21st place. Yeah, just done a few personal best sectors. So I think that lap time got deleted in the end. Yes, indeed it did. So that's why he's still in outside the top 20. This is getting very close. This is getting very close indeed between Baumann and the Blau Motorsport car. Baumann's had to bail out of that lap now. The Blau Motorsport car got a bit of a bashing yesterday as well. Doesn't need Dominic Baumann coming up behind it in qualifying as well, but Baumann putting the hammer down now and continuing on his way to another flying lap. Christopher Haase back out on track as well on a good time, fastest in both Sector 1 and Sector 2. This is a great lap that Christopher Haase is building up to here aboard the East Talent Audi.
The car 27, Eddie Cheever did do a 1:37.898, but deleted for track limits at T1. That would have been the new fastest time. However, stays down in 24th.
Haase driving up towards the line and goes top, 1:37.302, 0.8 of a second clear of Nico Menzel. Great lap there by the Audi Works driver. This is that close moment between Baumann and the Blau Motorsport car, and there was a little nudge there in the middle of the Sachs curve. You see it came up on him at quite a rate of knots. It is Marcelo Hahn at the wheel of the Blau Motorsport Ferrari at the moment. But it's Christopher Haase back where he is familiar on top, car number 1 in position 1, and Carol Bash now second fastest as well. Audi's 1 and 2.
Yeah, 0.7 of a second, the gap between first and second. We saw this a couple of times yesterday, where one car was just out in front and so comfortably that they could sit in the pits until the end of qualifying once they'd laid one down. Christopher Haas is now in that position, still on track right now, and he set another fastest time in Sector 1 at 25.98. Can he go even quicker?
Well, it's coming up to the second split now, and it's not an improvement, but still up on his time. And how close do you want to get to the gravel there? Amazing stuff. I absolutely love watching Christopher Haas wrestle an Audi R8 around any circuit. It is an absolute joy to watch. But Carol Bash is returning serve in the first sector. He's done a personal best, not quite as quick as Haas's, but we know Carol Bash can do an absolutely mighty lap time, and Haasa goes even quicker. It's a 37.263 now, puts an extra few hundredths of a second between himself and Carol Bash. And here is the Polish driver now.
So the 777, another beautiful liveried car. Got a little bit of traffic in front on the Olymp Racing, and he's going to have to, that's a, does he get a slipstream or does that ruin it? He was on a pretty good time, Carol Bash.
Yeah, 1 second off in the end though for Bash.
And here's our third across the line yesterday, but second on the podium, second step. And then we're looking to do a repeat of the same today. Right now though, down in, where is the number 17 car on that list? Outside the top 25, is it? No, sorry, Valentin, where are we?
Oh, well, now 6th.
Oh, no, I was going to say, couldn't find it, but now...
No, I couldn't find it either, but now I can.
He's clearly up there now, yes, up to 6th place, Diego Menchaca.
Yeah, Diego Menchaca, the Mexican who came oh so close to the GT Open title last year, racing alongside one of his best friends, Marcos Seibert. And now they will be doing the entire season together. Marcos Seibert had to miss a couple of rounds last year due to his European Le Mans Series commitments, but no such commitments this year. And Menchaca continuing to find pace in the first sector. It's a personal best for him. Haasa not able to improve on that previous lap, still 3/4 of a second between himself and Carol Bash. Menchaca will hope to do something about that as well in the number 17 car.
Just 11, 12 cars on track right now. The majority sat in the pit lane. 12.5 minutes remaining of this session. Everybody has laid down a fairly substantial lap time. In the AM class, Cipriani still leading over Neumann, now down in 21st and 23rd overall on the timing sheet. At the top, it is still Haas, Bash, Menzel. What can Diego Menchaca do? More traffic again for Menchaca. Take the wide line, got out of the way pretty well. I dived into the pits. Is this going to be an improvement? No, it's not. 0.3 of a second or so over his best time so far.
So just under 12 minutes left in this session. Quite a few cars into pit lane now. Chris Haas is still out on track. Giorgio Seneghiotto and Mark Vallenvine as well. But most cars now back in pit lane. It's getting very tight out there at the moment, particularly down at Get Speed, where they've got quite a few cars they need to park in front of their garages. But it will be the calm before the storm. Hopefully his cars will take to the track to try and get one last flying lap in. Oh, Marcelo Hans getting out of the car. So whether that's just for a quick break or he's done. Well, it looks like he's done, doesn't it? Gloves are off.
Yeah, 24th place at the moment for Marcelo Hanna, 1:44.51.
Blau Motorsport pairing. Great to see the former Pro-Am champions back out in the GT Open. He and Alam Coder in their 17th year of racing together, having competed over in Brazil and GT3 championships there and racing in Europe together. It's a very different scene. Last time they were here in the GT Open, it was in the Teo Martin Motorsport McLaren.
17 years together.
Like a good marriage.
The 63 back out on track. There's the Oregon of Pulcini, currently lying in 8th place right now, 1.159 behind Christopher Haas in the Audi. And in comes to the pit lane Diego Menchaca. But right now, the top 7 all in the pit lane. It is just Pulcini in the top 10 that is out on track right now. Does he spy an opportunity to nip a little bit further up that timing board?
Yeah, Lamborghini factory driver will try and reduce that gap in the closing stages of this race. Here he is in the number 63 car that he shares with Rolf in Icon. 3 cars for Lamborghini this year, up from the 2 they've run for the last couple of years. Real statement of intent in their lineups as well, when you consider you've got Lamborghini factory drivers like Pulcini, like Jordan Pepper in the number 10 car, junior drivers as well, like Alessio De Leda and Artem Petrov as well. A real statement of intent with 6 very quick drivers and a very quick car underneath them as well for the team that's had an awful lot of success since coming to the GT Open, and this is where they made their GT3 competition debut as a team as well in 2022. And Pulcini on his way now on a flying lap, so we'll see what the first sector time is as well. There's Giuseppe Cipriani there as well, the provisional pole sitter. Mark Vallenvine in the Leipert Lamborghini. That is new entry for this weekend, a part campaign for the pro pairing. They'll be with us at Hockenheim, Paul Ricard, Barcelona and Monza. The Mark Vallenvine, rally driver turned circuit racer, German rally champion in 2012 and raced in the World Rally Championship field in 2013 before switching to the circuit racing scene. Currently 13th fastest in that Lamborghini, and then we join another one. It's the Oregon car Pulcini, who is not setting the timing screen alight at the moment.
Karol Bash back out on track, currently sitting in 2nd, but 0.75 behind Christopher Haas. Menchaca's back out there. We say Pulcini will go around at least one more time. Plenty more coming back onto 23 cars now on track, so they are back out for their final 7.5 minutes or so stint. They're trying to shake things up a little bit. It'll be a big ask to get up there with the number 1 car, and that is Talent Racing Audi R8. It is set an absolute scorcher of a 1:37.25.
And yeah, Audi might not be officially involved in GT3 competition anymore, not producing a new car, but still providing a little bit of technical support to their customer teams that are still racing. And you can't even buy an Audi R8 anymore on the road. It's officially off the shelf, but it is one of the most well-developed GT3 cars. It's only one of the oldest as well. The first R8 came out in 2009.
Is it that long ago?
2009 for the GT3 version. And then obviously it's had a few upgrade packages since then, the most recent in 2022. So when I say it's one of the most developed GT3 race cars in the world, well, there's the proof as well. And currently 1-2 in this qualifying session. We're on board here with the number 12 Porsche of Haas. Had quite an unfortunate couple of incidents in a very short space of time in the race yesterday, getting it a little crossed up through turn number 8.
Yeah, a couple of bumps late on in that race, unfortunately, dropped them down the order, but we'll be going again this morning, trying to make up for that. And there's a bit of dust in front of him.
Yeah, somebody's been through the gravel.
They get away with it. We've seen loads of people off there. It flicks up loads, and it looks all dramatic. It's actually, you get your left rear tyre on there, and it looks a lot worse than it is.
Well, the Jamie Stanley Ferrari is the one in front of him. So that would be the most likely candidate for it. It's Giorgio Sernigiotto there was trying to round up Gino Fulgioni.
Where you don't want to be right now is in the grandstand, because if you do flick up that dust, the wind's going in that direction. You get an absolute face full of dust. Great to see, but then about 15 seconds later, it's right in your face.
And, called it. Jamie Stanley through the gravel. Bang, ball, bang. Yeah, quite a rough ride there. It looked a lot softer than that in the Porsche Cup car in the GT Cup qualifying a little bit earlier on, but that Ferrari looks a little stiffer, actually. Right, 5 minutes left to go on the clock. Christopher Haase in pit lane and maybe waiting this out, but Menchaca has now just gone second fastest. Green sectors all the way through the lap and is now half a second away from the East Talent Audi. He's split the two Audis up at the front of the field. Yeah, cuts the deficit by a third. It was 0.7 down to just over 0.5, which demotes Carol Bash in the 777 down to third place. Polcini, we did see him in sixth last time. He has jumped up to fourth place right now in the Oregon, so there was an improvement. He's a 1:38.021. And Abril now third fastest as well in the Spirit of Race Ferrari, so the times are coming in thick and fast here. Carol Bash going to try and take those positions back, but it can only manage fourth fastest. Maybe a little bit of traffic there right at the end of the race, of the lap in the Spirit of Race Ferrari. Carol Bash fourth fastest. It is 0.7 of a second separating the top four as it stands. And Bash, the only Pro-Am in the top 6 right now. They're all giving this one or two last couple of goes. They'll leave nothing behind. Ludwig takes the Pro-Am lead right now in the car number 11. Just 0.68 behind your leader. They're coming down these times. Oh, they certainly are. So it's a great lap there by Luca Ludwig in the Racing 1 Ferrari. And this is on board with Baumann, who goes fifth fastest as well. 0.8 of a second away from Christopher Haase's time. But Abril's on a decent run here as well on this particular lap. Coming through the Sachs curve now in the stadium section. Slow-moving Lamborghini right in front of him, but it stays well clear on driver's left. Will he round up that car collection Porsche right in front of him as well? Might just get away with it. Polcini now setting good times in the first sector as well, but we'll keep an eye on Vincent Abril for now as he comes up towards the line, stays third fastest, still 0.6 away from Haase's time. And that lap time from Luca Ludwig has been disallowed by the looks of it as well, because he's dropped back down to 8th position. This is Polcini, quick in the first sector and quick in the middle sector as well, but slow-moving Ferrari right in front of him. Is he going to get crossed up? Oh, might have just gotten away with that. Again, traffic seems to be a real issue here, coming through the Sachs curve. The Lamborghini factory driver putting his foot to the floor through the little kink. And coming up to those last two corners as Polcini wrestles with that car, keeping it nice and neat. Drives up towards the timing line and does improve, but only to 6th. Like you say, really wrestling is the right term there. Kicking it around all over the place, just slightly off track for the 20. That is Baumann currently in 7th position after he was just knocked down from 6th. So we've got that goes back up to 6th. 1 minute 50 remaining. This is last chance saloon now. One more attempt. Yeah. And Christopher Haase sitting pretty in the pits. So is Carol Bash on Pro-Am pole. And Proctor in the 66 goes up to 6th place. So we've got Pro-Am sitting 4, 5, 6 now. Yep, all line astern. It's two title rivals, Carol Bash and Eddie Cheever, on provisional Pro-Am 1 and 2, and then Lewis Proctor right in there as well. Great stuff as Nico Menzel, only 9th fastest there on that last lap. Wasn't an improvement actually for him. So Haas is in the pits, Menchaca's in the pits. Can anyone else challenge them? Abril's gone into the pits too. That's the top 4 in the pits now. They're done. So Eddie Cheever in the 27. That's the Spirit of Race Ferrari 296. He is the last man on track, highest up the timings right now. He's only just over a 10th or so behind Bash, and that is the chase. Oh, he's off! That's get through the gravel. Yes, it can. And that is the number. I think that's Polcini. Oh no, wait, it's the green wingtip one. That's Marzio Moretti, I believe. Yes, it is the number 19 car, just having a little moment there through the gravel at turn number 11. We're back with live pictures now. And there is the young Italian in his first year of GT3 competition.
Eddie Cheever in 5th right now, fighting for the lead in the Pro-Am title. Has gone green in sectors 1 and 2. So he is currently on. Can he take away Carol Bash's lead in the Pro-Am? So currently sitting in 4th. One sector.
Yeah, he's across the line, but he can't improve. It's 3rd in Pro-Am for Lewis Proctor there in the Greystone GT McLaren. Still a great qualifying for the Scotsman. The lad and dad combination there. Lad currently in the car. Dad will take over later.
All eyes on Cheever right now. Can he get onto the 2nd row of the grid and take the Pro-Am lead away from Carol Bash?
Cheever's on a good one as well. Personal best in the 1st sector. Decent middle sector there as well. Might still be able to sneak the Pro-Am pole away from Carol Bash. But here's our overall pole sitter, Christopher Haase, out of the car. And East Talent Racing back up on top.
Cheever coming around the last couple of corners. Can he steal 4th away from Carol Bash? We'll find out in a few seconds' time.
There he is, across the line. No, doesn't improve. Fell away right in the last sector. And so it is Carol Bash on Pro-Am pole position, in 4th position overall. We've got the top 3 in Pro-Am all line astern there in 4th, 5th and 6th. That's going to be a great fight later on. And the celebrations in the East Talent garage, Christopher Haase hugging, first of all, Peter Riker and then Simon Riker, his teammate there. And after, it has been a difficult start to the season for them as well. And yesterday, that debris that collected in the right rear wheel, damaging their brakes, causing more and more headaches. But now, they're back up on top. It's pole position for the reigning team's champions. It'll be Audi, Mercedes, Ferrari inside the top 3 there as well. 3 different manufacturers, 3 different teams. East Talent, Motorpark, and Spirit of Race. Got the McLaren right up there as well in 6th position. And we can hear from Christopher Haase now.
Christopher Haase, number 1 on the car and number 1 on the screens this morning for pole position ahead of race 2.
Yeah, it's definitely great. Another pole position for East Talent Racing for us in the GT Open. The car was just mega. I think we had a difficult start of the year, but the team worked so hard to come back, and coming back with a pole position. We had yesterday already a good pace in the race. We couldn't finish, but yeah, now the 2nd race is coming. We're looking forward for it.
And of course, this is a track you must know like your house, and it's home soil for you.
Exactly, yeah. We are in Germany. I'm a German driver. Of course, it's always a special feeling then when you're in pole position. Also, Hockenheim is a track which suits the Audi usually very well, and therefore, yeah, we keep the fingers crossed.
Quite a lot of fans today will be here. Good weather. We brought that from Spain. It's going to be a nice day.
Yeah, thank you for taking over from Spain. Yeah, we have great weather all weekend long already. And obviously here in Hockenheim, there are already so many spectators here, fans. And we will enjoy also the barbecue together.
Perfect. Thank you. All the best.
Well, it'll be Audi leading the field. Let's take a look at the results of Q2. It's pole position for Christopher Haase and East Talent Racing Car 1 in position 1. Diego Menchaca 2nd for Team Motorpark, and Vincent Abril 3rd for the Spirit of Race Ferrari. Then Carol Bash on Pro-Am pole. Very close battle there with Eddie Cheever, our championship leaders. And Lewis Proctor there, 3rd in class. Dominic Baumann 7th in the SPS Mercedes. Leonardo Polcini 8th. Nico Menzel 9th. And Luca Ludwig 10th in the Racing 1 Ferrari. Conrad Grunwald in 11th, and Vladislav Lomko in his first ever GT3 qualifying 12th, and ahead of Thomas Eichen and Jamie Stanley and Giorgio Sernagiotto. Mark Vallenvine, then Marzio Moretti. We saw him go through the gravel. Yesterday's race winner starting from 18th position, Alessio Deleda, and then Anthony Barto 19th, then Charles Bateman, Bashar Maldini, Valentin Pierbeck, Giuseppe Cipriani on pole position ahead of his class rivals Heiko Neumann and Adamo Seca, Marcelo Hahn, Gino Forgione, Libor Milota, Dexter Muller, Hash in 30th position, and then at the back of the field, Stanislav Jedlinski completing the 31-car field. And we will go racing this afternoon at 10 minutes past 1 local time. We'll see you then.